The argument of scientific miracles debunked. It is debunked. And guess what? We don't even need it.
We don't even need it.
Alhamdulillah.
We've got intolerance.
So an example and nasiyah to give to all of you guys, alhamdulillah, is very simple. You do not read into the Quran. We do not make that mistake by reading, and this verse means that. Now, is there certain facts, for example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the depths of the ocean, where if you put your hand up, there are layers and layers of darkness, we can say, wow, that is very interesting.
We can say, wow. If you stick your hand down there deep enough and you can't see your hand anymore, alhamdulillah. Allah
I don't
Akbar.
understand. He comes with one of the worst arguments for scientific miracles, and thereby decides that that the Quran doesn't have scientific miracles because it was obviously wrong. And from that, he goes to another one of the worst arguments ever, and says, "But it still has impressive things like."
And
that.
we could say, wow. We could say, wow. How could anyone have known something that anyone who's ever swam in his whole life could know? There's no way that anyone, except anyone who's ever been swimming at any point ever, or who's ever met anyone who's been swimming at any point, there's no way to know that except for someone who's actually been in water. How could Muhammad have known that? That's actually what he said. Let me back up. So look, this video is so awesome. He starts off, let me say it, in 73 different ways. This argument is stupid and it's been debunked. Zakir Naik was a liar. Ahmed Deedat was a liar. There was all liars. Them's all liars. I'm the one who's telling you the truth, yeah? Our new argument is how intolerant we's gonna be, yeah? We's gonna be the most intolerant people. We's gonna be just like the KKK and them guys that follow the dude with the little mustache. Was gonna be just like them. We're all gonna be like that. We're gonna be go take, top G. That's gonna be how we's winning all these people around to our side. That's what we'll be doing, yeah? But yo, since I was on the topic of the scientific miracles, you do got some things like, oh, it gets dark in the water, yeah, and our mind is still blown by this. Our mind is blown, yeah, because this is why you unbelievers is running with your tail between the legs. You're scared of the amazing insight that I've already said is debunked, except this one maybe about the darkness in the deep water. Yeah, so in your face, you got schooled. This is who we're dealing with, right?
That is perfect.
Wow.
Let me back this thing up a little bit and
Perfect Dawah.
see what he said.
Wow.
Is there certain facts, for example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the depths of the ocean, where if you put your hand up, there are layers and layers of darkness?
Layers to the game.
That is very interesting because now
it's like tiramisu, you know? It got layers. Like tiramisu, we got the layers. See, how could Allah know about tiramisu? Tiramisu ain't even been invented yet, yeah? How is this possible? But yet, the 7 ozone layers, they's got the layers like the tiramisu. Oh my goodness, I'm going back. I got to believe in the miracles, yeah?
Tiramisu.
I'm sorry. I feel like we're gonna have to keep going back to this point and see. Let me back it up again and see what he's saying. Because I want to. We will actually, since this is apparently the only thing that you can be impressed by anymore in the Quran, we'll go ahead and take a look at it. All right.
Now, is there certain facts, for example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the depths of the ocean, where if you put your hand up, there are layers and layers of darkness? We can say, wow, that is very interesting because now recent discoveries do show that. So,
recent discoveries have shown that, yeah, as you swim down in the water, things get darker. Like you couldn't look in the water and say, hey, it looks dark down there. No one could do that unless you was by water or something or went for a swim. So how could this be known? NASA has just found this out today. You do know that Jacques Cousteau actually went down in the water and saw that it'd be dark down there, yeah? He found that it'd be dark down there. How is this possible? Oh my goodness. Is this a return? It's like he just said that it's all debunked and stupid, and now he brings it back at the end and ruins everything. Wow.
This is a lot.
see, totally you can't use it, but I'm saying to you,
Wait, he says totally you can't use it, but you can be impressed by it.
science as a yardstick, this is wrong. The Quran is our yardstick. We don't say, because science changes. One day it says this, next day it says that. It's as simple as that. So that's the reason why we say there are certain things in the Quran which...
What's up?
I just have okay. If the Quran is the yardstick, fine. The Quran is the yardstick. So does that mean that there really are 7 heavens? Like, does that mean that the actual fact of the matter is that the earth really was created before there was ever space and heavens and the stars? Does that that means that that's the actual matter of fact now?
You're being too logical. Right? He has never thought that through. You're being too logical.
Oh, I'm thinking too much. I should have just recited. My bad.
Yeah.
Stupid.
All right.
Okay.
How could a man know this? If it was from a man, not from God.
He's still on the darkness. How could a man know that it gets darker as you go down farther in the water?
I really want to ask him, how could a man have known what exactly? What exactly? Please tell me that. Please tell me what exactly. I remember going swimming and looking down as a mere human being and seeing that it gets darker and darker and darker and darker, and you can't see it. It looks very scary. So apparently Allah can do that too, and Muhammad can do that too, and that is a great miracle.
Yes, it is.
All right, let's see what he's got here.
She's like, how could a man know this? If it was from a man, not from God, who went to the depths of the ocean, yes, thousands of meters down to know that there's layers and layers of darkness?
Look, he's saying you have to go thousands and thousands of meters down. So, wait, thousands and thousands of meters down. So that's thousands and thousands. So you'd have to go at least 4,000 meters down into the water to realize that it gets darker as you go down. Wrong, Ali. Dive into the water and swim for a few seconds, and you'll see it gets darker and colder very quickly.
This is the power of Islam. You are witnessing the power of Islam, the miracle of Allah and the Quran. This is amazing, man. Look at that.
So Ali has demonstrated to his credit that he knows as much about the ocean as he does about the ozone layers. All the different ozone layers.
That is my point. So once again, for all my fans out there, the Islamophobes, the cowards, the little weasels, alhamdulillah, Islam is growing. Yes?
It's growing.
For those who, like Muhammad Jab says, who are intellectually molested. Yes? It is debunked.
Hey, did you see that? You've been intellectually molested. Have you noticed that they always talk about like some version of molested or this or that when they talk about what they're doing to people? Like their mind automatically goes there. And he's getting this from Captain Golden Showers himself, Muhammad Hijab, who introduced many people in our live streams to a lot of perverted stuff just because people had to look it up. They didn't know what he was talking about. He's the expert. Well, let's see.
Yes.
Muhammad Hijab actually, he's so obsessed with that stuff that even when he was talking to me in the discussion to make a point about morals or something, that's the only thing he could go to. The example of a woman who is being brutally, I think, gang raped or something like that. And he was talking about that. They always have to go to something like this. You're right. Mm-hmm. That's just very strange.
It's always something perverted. That's where their minds instantly go when they're critiquing something. And these are the guys who, we only responded the best way. Yeah, really. All right. We're almost at the end here. So let's see what he wraps up with. He's saying how scared we all are and how we're all running. Because you all been intellectually molested, yeah.
For those who, like Muhammad Hijab says, who are intellectually molested, yes, it is debunked, and we don't need it.
We don't need it.
Islam doesn't need anything.
Intolerance.
People are flocking to Islam. Our Dawah videos, people are accepting Islam left, right, center. So die in your rage. That's all I wanted to say, alhamdulillah. And brothers and sisters, may Allah bless you guys, inshallah. Till next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
He's trying to provoke anger. He's trying to provoke a reaction here. He's trying to provoke anger here, and he actually thinks he's doing it. He actually thinks we'll be watching this, and we will be like, I don't know, how could this be? I'm outraged right now. Like that's what he thinks.
No. You think so?
we need to respond and just be completely enraged because of that powerful whatever that was.
I'm so angry. Oh, I'm so mad.
Do y'all think that he really honestly, when he sits down, he lays down at night, that he really believes what he's saying?
I don't see how.
Yeah, because it has to be it looks like a performance to me. Obviously, you got to save face, but I don't think that he believes what he's saying. Like that wouldn't be. I can't see that.
Well, there are two things. There is Al-Dawa often lies. He knows that he lies. When he's
Oh yeah.
called out,
Mhm.
he just ignores you calling him out, and he continues lying. And that this is confirmed. This is a fact. I can demonstrate it on many occasions. He actually lies to people. But then, on the other hand, he's also firmly, deluded in believing that he is actually making great points and that he is completely destroying and humiliating us, and he actually believes that. And an intelligent person would not believe that, but he's not very intelligent, so he does believe that. So I do believe that he actually thinks he's completely making fantastic points here right now.
Wow, that's tough,
I
man.
I am loving these. I'm loving the points, but I mean, since the only thing, since for some reason he defended it not as a scientific miracle, but as something that should just shock and amaze Muslims. Um, let's go ahead and check out. Let's go ahead and check out. Let me get rid of that and get the screen up here. All right, here we got it. Here's the argument, ladies and gentlemen. We'll read verse 39 just for context. Pick a translation. We'll just start off with the Pickthall at the top. As for those who disbelieve, their deeds are as a mirage in the desert. Oh my goodness, no one could ever know about mirage in the desert. Yeah, how did Allah know this? It's so amazing. The thirsty one supposeth it to be water till he cometh unto it and findeth it not, and findeth in the place thereof Allah who payeth him his due, and Allah is swift at reckoning. So you got a bunch of translations. Oh no, hey, Avery, these translations say different things. They're different things in the English. I wonder what we're going to do now that there are all these differences in the English translation. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. His mama's false.
Hey, Avery, it's about to get better. You ready for this?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Let's look at a couple translations of verse 40. So this is I guess he doesn't want to call it a scientific miracle anymore, just something you're supposed to be amazed at.
It is a wow. It is a
There you go.
scientific wow. Yeah.
Here you go. Ready? Or, read the Pickthall again, right there. Or as darkness on a vast abysmal sea, there covereth him a wave, talking about the unbelievers and describing, their sinfulness and rebellion against God. There covereth him a wave, above which is a wave, above which is a cloud, layer upon layer of darkness. When he holdeth out his hand, he can scarce see it. Why? Because it's dark. And he for whom Allah hath not appointed light, for him there is no light. Now notice, Pickthall has, or as darkness on a vast abysmal sea. So this is like there's darkness on the surface of the deep. But we'll look at a couple more. Or the unbeliever's state is like the depths of darkness in a vast ocean, in a vast deep ocean. So there it looks like deep inside the ocean. But guess what? If one verse is saying it's darkness on a sea, and the other says it's darkness in a sea, Avery, you've got a contradiction in the translation of the Quran. So it doesn't matter what, keep in mind, according to Sheikh Uthman, doesn't matter what the Arabic is, It only matters that the English has a contradiction here.
English has the contradiction.
Yeah. Now you got it. So notice these, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Ali is saying is miraculous here. So Yusuf Ali, or the unbeliever state, is like the depths of darkness in a vast deep ocean, overwhelmed with billow, topped by dark clouds. So the fact that it says, let's go with darkness in the ocean, like depths of darkness in the ocean. Let's just see what the rest of them translate this as. Or is like the darkness in a vast deep sea. That's the Hilali Khan, Shakir. Or like utter darkness in the deep sea. Sher Ali, or their deeds are like thick layers of darkness spread over a vast and deep sea. So there it's on top. Khalifa, that of being in total darkness in the midst of a violent ocean. Arbery, or they are as shadows upon a sea obscured by a billow. Palmer, or like darkness on a deep sea. So they seem to be interpreting, they can't even agree on what's being said here. Yeah. They can't even agree on what's being said here. But let's go with the most generous version of this, which is what's supposed to be amazing. Darkness in a deep, dark sea. That's something that, according to Ali, has only been verified recently, and no one could have known that ever.
Correct. Why?
Why aren't you guys converting right now?
AP is not letting me.
Aiden Waleed, how can anyone know this?
We are denying the truth.
Yeah, AP won't let me convert for some reason. I don't know.
So yeah, is anyone actually legitimately impressed by something that here? Let me put it like this, ladies and gentlemen. You take 1,000 kids who've been swimming, 1,000 8-year-old kids who've been swimming in more than just a pool, because you can swim in a pool and not see that things get darker. If you've been in a lake or an ocean and you just swim down a few feet, you start seeing it get darker really quick, like. Or if you're just in a boat and you're looking down, it's like, oh, I can't see what's at the bottom there because it gets dark real quick. Keep in mind, this was his number 2. This was his, okay, now that the 7 layers of the ozone has been debunked, now I still have to put this out about this powerful point, even though it's not a good argument, it's something that will blow your mind.
Yeah.
You know, it probably would have impressed me if all the English translations agreed on whether or not the darkness was on or in the sea. So I'm confused right now. My belief is being halted because of that.
Hey, wait a minute. Mrs. Apostate said onions have layers.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Hey, wait a minute. Scientists have recently confirmed that onions do in fact have layers. There's no way that anyone could have known that before now. That means it's a miracle. Wait a minute. It's not just the apostate prophet. She's a prophet too. So there are female prophets. Shocker. Wow, we're dealing with...
The verse literally just says, it compares the state of a disbeliever to a darkness in a sea. It is deep, covered by a wave, on top of it another wave, on top of it a cloud, darkness on top of each other. When he puts out his hand, he can hardly see it. That's what it says. So like an ocean, like a water, there are waves upon it, upon which there are also waves, upon which there are clouds, which are dark, and he stretches his hand out and he can barely see his hand. Now, I don't even know what to say.
What, you got a problem?
I don't even know what to say.
You can't even refute that. See, Allah has you so confounded, you can't even refute it. You know, you're just laughing nervously. You can't even
This
refute
is
it.
amazing. This is amazing. I don't know what I have been doing this whole decade, all of these years. Why have I been trying to refute Islam so much when it is so clear from this verse that it comes directly from Allah? Because who could have known this? Wow.
God.
And this is the champion of Dawah right there.
I've been looking for a reason to take my shahada for over a year now. You guys can ask Chris Claus, ask the people in the chat. I've been looking for a reason. Now I think it's been shattered. Like, it's tough. I was really leaning on the scientific miracles, guys. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
There is one more massive, and possibly, I mean, apart from him acknowledging yet again that the scientific argument has been debunked and it's garbage, and then him trying to throw his followers a bone who are thinking, oh, but the science is so impressive, and he tries to give an example. Oh yeah, there are things you should be impressed about, and it's something that anyone who's ever been swimming could have told you. Apart from that, and I mean, possibly a more important point. Did you guys caught it? He said that the new case for Islam, the real reason people are going to be converting, is because of Islam's intolerance and willingness to kill people who get out of line. He said that, right? Did you guys catch that?
And we're proud of that. I'll say it again, and we're proud of that. Now,
guys, the question that we would want to ask Ali Dawah, keep in mind, he said that. He said they're proud of the capital punishments. Anyone who's at Speaker's Corner walking up to Ali Dawah, please go up and ask him about various groups and what's going to happen to them under Sharia if they seize control, right? So, hey, Ali Dawah, you've acknowledged that if you guys are able to establish an Islamic state, people like AP are going to be executed. You said you're proud of that, right? Yeah, we're proud that was going to kill them. Yeah. Okay. What about critics of Islam, people who make fun of Muhammad? What's going to happen to them? Keep in mind, you're proud of it. You're not going to hide it because you're proud of it, right? Oh, yeah, we're going to do it to them too. Okay. What about gay people? What are you going to do to gay people in an Islamic state? People who are, I mean, let's say they're openly gay. What are you going to do to them? And keep in mind, you're proud of the death penalty. So explain to us what you're going to do. What are you going to do to trans people? What are you going to do to, what are you, and just go down the list.
There.
Yeah.
Go there, especially go to the
have a list, have a checklist,
that stuff, so that all of those people around the world who have been defending these Muslim apologists so far and who have been making sure that we cannot criticize them and they can always be excused, so that they too hear some really, really bad truths that they need to hear. So that stuff should be brought up.
And by the way, guys, do you see the mistake? I mean, keep in mind, not everyone necessarily is going to go with Ali Dawah down this road. But with Andrew Tate and Sneeko all saying, Islam is so red pill, this is the only thing that's going to save everyone from the far left and LGBTQ stuff and so on. They're going down that road. This is what I was talking about when I said this is like the biggest tactical blunder in the history of tactical blunders.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about all the morons who invaded Russia in the winter, you giant morons. That's nothing compared to what Ali Dawah wants to do right now, which, guys, every Muslim in the world, please follow what he just said right here. Please, I'm begging you to take what he just said seriously. Yes. Do you guys understand how bad this is? Because I think
break it down for me, because
maybe you should explain it. You should explain it, David.
Yeah. Okay. So here, 4 years. Even when you had terrorist attacks, even when you had 9/11, even when you had the 7/7 bombings and so on, all the killing people with trucks, the Charlie Hebdo massacres, all that stuff. Every single time you had something like that, we would try to show people why that was happening. We would say, hey, look, we can show you in Islam's most trusted sources why this thing that we all agree is horrible and bad is actually commanded by this religion. Mm-hmm. And without fail, what happened? Politicians, journalists, the education system, Hollywood, they all came down. Anyone who has a problem with this is Islamophobe. Anyone who says that this has something to do with Islam, anyone who says that is a racist, Islamophobic, hate-mongering bigot. Yeah. And anyone with power would silence anyone who's doing that, right? Anyone with power would silence the people who are doing this. I got banned over and over and over again until I gave up on Facebook just for pointing out. I would post things like, "Hey, here's a screenshot of a guy who just threatened to kill me," and they would ban me for pointing out that I got threatened, that a guy was threatening me, right? Because they didn't want people to get mad that this Muslim was threatening a Christian, threatening to kill a Christian. So they kept doing that until I just say, fine with it. All the bans I've had over the years, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, it's all you criticized Muhammad, and so we have to ban you for this. Mm. So you had, again, politicians, the media as a whole, the education system as a whole. Get your child's textbook, read, if they have a world history book, read what it says about Christianity and read what it says about Islam. You're in for quite a surprise on the kid gloves and how much they praise Islam, right? Yeah, this has been going on for a long, long time. In other words, when people are trying to put out perfectly valid criticisms of Islam based on the impact it's been having on the world, we are shouted down and marginalized by people who are on the far political left, who nevertheless have wield lots of power in the media and in politics and in Hollywood and with the education system and social media, and they're able to silence people who are criticizing Muhammad. Yeah. I have to say, that is a very nice position to be in. In fact, when I would get banned on YouTube, they would say, you have criticized a protected group. Yeah. Wait, Muslims are a protected group? Are Christians a protected group? Christians on a global scale, Christians are persecuted far more than Muslims. But You can say anything you want about Christian, and yet I'm like, what? I didn't call for violence or anything like that. I just said why they're wrong. And nope, that's enough. This is a protected group. You have to get banned for that. Right? That happens over and over again. So anyway, long story short, Islam, Muhammad, and the Quran have been shielded from criticism, and not just that, but the supporters of like mass Islamic immigration and so on to Western countries. Those have tended to be people on one side of the political spectrum who were hoping that by this mass immigration, they would get future voters who are going to be loyal to their causes and so on. And now, in spite of having all of this protection for all of these years, you're talking decades of protection from people on the far left that are protecting Muhammad and the Quran from criticism, in spite of all of that years of undying loyalty, no matter how many terrorist attacks. I mean, terrorists were actually walking into gay clubs and gunning people down. Who would rush to the defense of Islam every single time? Politicians, journalists, educators, entertainers, and social media CEOs every single time. And now Muslims are saying, actually, we're changing sides on everything. And what we're going to do, we're going to show you how intolerant we are. And we're just going to execute everybody on your side, on your side. As soon as we get power, we're going to execute you all. And they're announcing it. And they're siding with Andrew Tate, who's against all the wokeism and so on. So So again, it doesn't mean so far that all Muslims are going to agree with this. But if you get enough people who say, yeah, Andrew Tate and Sneeko and Ali Dawah are right, we need to go down that road. What happens if you lose that protection? What happens if all the people who've been protecting and shielding your prophet and your book from criticism suddenly view you as a threat and an enemy?
Yeah. Wow.
What happens? What happens if now we can freely, openly expose Muhammad on on primetime news?
Yeah.
What happens when I can say when I can blast your prophet and your book all over social media, and the CEOs are loving it because they view you as an enemy? What happens when the education system starts teaching accurately about Muhammad and the Quran and their impact in 1400 years of jihad because they are sick to death of what you're doing? What happens when Hollywood says, let's make an accurate film about the history of Islam and what really happened? What happens in those situations? You guys just traded it for Sneeko. You just traded. You had the sweetest deal of anyone in history. You had the greatest dream deal of every ideology in history. You are protected by everyone who has any degree of power. And now you're throwing it all away because we're going to go with Andrew Tate. He's the top G, yeah? And you don't realize how insanely stupid you are. All you had to do was wave your little pride flag and pretend a little longer. That's all you had to do is wave that little pride flag and say, yeah, we're all on the same page. Wink, wink. We're not going to slaughter you all as soon as we get in power. Wink, wink. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. Instead, you got to go there. Oh, no, top G. Good luck with that, guys. If that alliance breaks down, you think you got an avalanche of apostasy now?
Wow, yeah.
Oh my goodness, they're destroying it. These low hikmah da'is are doing. You pointed out we couldn't have dreamed of breaking down this alliance, and they're doing it for us.
Normally, I would think, David, that you shouldn't be, spelling all of this out and saying all of this because you could be telling them that they're basically making a mistake. But in the case of Ali Dawah, he's probably watching this and he's like, "Oh, look, they're so mad, dying in your rage. They're just pretending.
They're dying in their rage. Oh, look, David's having a heart attack in his rage." No, I'm dying of laughter, Ali. Are you really trying to get us to die of laughter? Because you got a better chance of that, bud, bro.
So keep going, Ali Dawah. Keep going. It's fantastic. Yeah. You're doing a great job.
Go, Ali. Go, Ali. Go. Go, Ali. Go, Ali. Go.
This is really no different. It's no different from years ago when you said we're just going to watch the apologists who come out, the people like Muhammad Hijab and characters like this who take the forefront and start destroying Islam from the inside. You said this and you said we got to watch. I say this a lot. I always bring this up because peace be upon you, O Prophet David Wood. You said this before and they still did it. It didn't matter that you said it publicly. Yeah. It still happened. So saying it here is not good. It's still Ali Dawah. It's still Muhammad Hijab. It's still Andrew Tate. They're still going to be them regardless. And we're just going to watch it all happen. what you just did, that take is crazy. That's a crazy take right
That
there.
is true. That is true. David has been saying that for a very long time now,
Yeah.
and it is exactly playing out as you said it. So I
He
am a
said
prophet, but I have to give you that one. Yeah.
the real masker said Allah's the best of divers. He's the best of divers.
Oh boy.
All right. So anyway,
Yo, the internet is crazy.
oh, it's awesome. Yeah, you guys, it's weird. It's like for the first like 10 years of doing stuff, I tried to keep my plotting inside my own head. Like, I don't want to know what I'm plotting, that, I'm going to get them to admit all this stuff over many years of time. I realize I've said before, it was actually watching Jordan Peterson at one point when he was going somewhere to speak, and he said, "Oh, when I get there, they're going to shout me down, but I'm just going to keep talking, and they're going to keep screaming, and they're going to try everything to get it to shout me down." And I was like, "Well, they're not going to do that now because you told it, you said it, you announced it ahead of time as you're going in, and you announced it all over the news and so on that's what they're going to do when you get there. They can't do it now. They got to do something different." They do it exactly what he said. And I saw other people, they're saying, "Hey, when I get here, this is what they're going to do." And they always do exactly what the person said. And I was like, once you get conditioned to a certain point and you have no plan B and you have nowhere else to go, you're going to do that. And you can announce it a million times ahead of time and say exactly what they're going to do. And they have no choice because they have no plan B. So now that the arguments are collapsing, now that all these arguments are collapsing, what do they got? All they've got left is the top G route. Try to impress everyone with your intolerance. Ali Dawah says, "That's what we're going to do. We're going to show that we're intolerant and we're going to kill everybody." And yet that will impress some people. That will impress some teenagers who are worried about things and not sure where everything's going, and they're going to sign on. If you're willing to trade that for this unparalleled degree of protection that you've had for decades, please make that deal, Ali. Please make that deal.
Fantastic. Ali Dawah, please let us know where we can support you for your great work. And please keep going. Please continue. I'm very proud of you, and I will be watching.
Amen. Amen to that, AP. Listen, shout out to you, Ali Dawah. I'm gonna, give you just another shout out on my channel, bro. I'm gonna say a prayer for you tonight, and when I wake up. So man, I'm really we're pushing for you, bro. We're pushing for you. Do not give up. Don't let none of those Islamophobes tell you any different. Keep
We are with
going.
you. Yeah, we are with you.
And Ali, under no circumstances should you ever listen to anyone who has even a single drop of hikmah. Ever. Do not listen to Sajid when he tells you how moronic you are being right now. Do not listen to Sajid. Sajid's going to say, you keep saying stupid stuff, and Sajid keeps pointing out. Just have your followers shout him down and say that he's jealous because of the tremendous impact you're having. Only listen to the people who are cheering you and praising you no matter what you do. Only listen to the complete, undying yes men that you have around you. Only listen to them. You'll never be steered wrong. Just keep that up for us, Ali. We love you.
We do.
We love
All right.
you, Ali.
All right. Final thoughts, anyone? Any final thoughts before we close out? We got through all that. AP, anything else?
No, I basically said what I think about Ali Dawah. I think he's doing a fantastic job. He should keep going. I know he's watching this probably later or now and thinking, "Hey, they're actually dying inside," but no, we're not. Okay, maybe I get it. I grant it. Maybe we are actually outraged and we are dying inside. You just believe that and you continue what you're doing because so far you're doing a fantastic job, Ali Dawah. Yes. Trust Sneeko. Trust Andrew Tate. They are your new heroes, your new rescue for Islam, and do exactly what you're doing. Tell everybody what Islam really says. I have done it. David has done it, but nobody believes us. So now it's your turn. Go ahead. You're doing it very, very well. Thank you.
That's right.
Avery, what do you got coming up, man? What do you got coming up? What are people what are people going to find on your channel, and what are you going to be working on here in the near future?
For sure. So so for the people that's asking, my channel is God Logic Apologetics. I was just at a Pride festival yesterday, so I have a lot of footage that's going to post with my interactions with there. There was a lot of affirming churches with their tents there. So I had a lot of discussions with these so-called priests and pastors who were there supporting Pride and stuff like that. So you guys will see that footage. Also, but most immediately, I have to get working on this video that I just had with Sheikh Uthman and Sneeko. That's going to be uploaded within the next day or so. I'm going to work on it right now. So stay tuned. If you guys want to see that conversation, hit that subscribe button at God Logic Apologetics, man.
And it seems like every encounter you have with Sheikh Uthman, he has to lie. He lies about something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lie gets exposed later.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the Christians, the atheists, Hindus, everyone sees the lie exposed later, and they go, look at this liar. But his followers seem to be of the mentality of, if you lie right there and you get away with it, even for that moment, it's good, and we worship you as our new hero. It really seems like that. It's like, as long as you get away with the lie for a few days, you're good to go, and no one's ever going to hold you to account. And then when these guys go off the rails and fake hate crimes against themselves or take out entire arguments, guys, they were already narcissists. You programmed them to believe that they could get away with anything. And now you're reaping the rewards of what you've done with your da'is. And we are loving it. All right. So everyone, be sure to follow Avery. Link is in the description box. And we'll catch y'all next time.
Stay away from Islam.
Peace.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense, not in total. But guess what? Allah led me to Islam. One of the reasons was because of the scientific miracles. And guess what? Did I leave Islam when this whole scientific miracle thing got debunked? No. In the Andrew Tate video that I did, I mentioned that the scientific miracles in the Quran got debunked. And for some odd reason, funnily enough, like as if they thought that it was a slip of the tongue. I'll repeat it again, very carefully. The scientific miracles argument in the Quran got debunked. That's why I'll repeat it one more time for my fans, those Islamophobes. The scientific argument, the scientific miracles in the Quran is debunked.
If my daughter reached the age of menstruation at 9 years old, I would say you are ready. What's it? You are ready to get married.
Woohoo! Yes, the only Saudi bikini model. You go, girl.